Welcome to Between X and Z with Wallace and Dozer. This is obstacle number 15. Artificial intelligence? What the fuck? Now, as always, please subscribe, iTunes, Twitter, Instagram. You can comment, leave feedback, give us some ideas. Between X and Z at gmail.com. Let us know what you think. We love listening. See ya. Welcome to the show. I am Wallace.
And I'm Dozer.
Everybody, how are you?
What is going on?
Life is going on.
Yeah.
Life's going fast.
Every fucking day.
Every
day.
I saw a news thing last night, and it's still the same subject, over and over and over again. It's always like, are we looking at our phones too much? There's always a new stat, like we look at our phones 1,022 times a day. And it's the same shit. Are we addicted to what we have in front of us?
Yes.
100%. I am.
I'll
admit
am.
it.
I
an addict.
definitely am. And I noticed that it causes problems in my life. You know, small problems, but problems.
Name me one.
I think sometimes human interaction doesn't doesn't happen because of I'm checking something that I really probably don't need to know. And I don't mean that it's like bad. I mean, I'm checking the score of something
Oh man, but you know what? Like
what someone said.
I think I briefly brought this up on a podcast or on our podcast, and I think I kind of believe it. Somebody once told me that like they say that multitasking is so bad for your brain, but another person said as a concept like multitasking is just the evolution of the brain. You know how they used to make the joke, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, but we're doing all of that now. We're walking, chewing gum, checking the scores, texting a loved one, and looking at your stocks at the same 30 seconds.
I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting because I have heard both swings on that. But I think the problem with artificial intelligence isn't about multitasking. It's about a movie that I saw over the fucking weekend. Over the weekend. Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Heard about it.
Never seen it.
Never seen it until this weekend. Mm-hmm. Heard it was good. Heard some people say it sucked.
If you look it up, I think it got like a 94 Rotten Tomatoes.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
No kind of thrills, really. I mean, it's not thrilling.
It's one of those reflective movies.
It's just kind of it's an interesting movie.
Okay.
It's an interesting movie, one, because it's the next step. And certainly what this guy... So I'll give you somewhat of the basis without ruining it for people. Tech billionaire, young guy, owns
Real
basically
life.
a Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, real life, right? He has a lottery in his company with these coders, and this one guy wins. And that's where you start the movie, and he flies to this place where there's a private, secluded building, and he meets this kind of kooky young billionaire genius that is the owner of his company. And he asks him, he tells him what he's doing. He asks him to sign some sort of NDA, and that tells him what he's doing. And he says, I'm creating artificial intelligence, and I'd like you to test it for me.
Would you do it?
Fuck no.
But even before the movie started,
Fuck
before
no.
you knew the plot, the ending, all that shit.
No.
What would you do there? Would you walk away? See you?
One, I wouldn't have signed that fucking NDA. And if anyone saw the movie, you would have seen that shit. Because that shit was like, it was intense. Like they could random audit him. But that is,
Damn.
Anyway, that's off topic. But so I wouldn't have done it. Well, we'll get to why I wouldn't have done it later. So he just says, I want you to test him. And it kind of breaks, the movie breaks into segments. Well, test her. Movie breaks into segments.
Have you noticed that all
Session
the
1,
AIs are feminine? Alexa, Siri. You know what I mean? Like, and in the movie with Joaquin Phoenix, he falls in love with that AI. Why is it that we have to have a female voice?
Well,
Or AI?
I think
That's weird.
That's because men would probably be, I mean, really, are probably more likely. We're like, huh? I can make her anything I want?
Yeah.
She shuts up and does what I tell her to do?
It's
Cool.
interesting, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's not as intimidating, I think,
that's
too.
a different one, yeah.
I think that's probably something with a woman versus a man. I mean, imagine a big fucking man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Hello.
Do your chores.
Yeah. I'm here to help you. Like, holy shit,
No,
man.
you're not.
No, get
You're
the fuck
right.
away from me.
No, you're right.
It's probably that.
We've talked about this as well. Like what I've ever seen in the hospitality industry and tourism is human resources are always female. When you're going in and you gotta fire somebody and you got a big issue, it's female or homosexual men.
Yeah.
Those are the only two people I've ever seen working in.
You know what angers
HR.
me nothing more? Female homosexual men. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. But you know what's interesting too? You ever called the company and you're on hold?
Yeah.
And it's a dude's voice like, hello, we'll be with you shortly. You're like,
right,
what
you're
the
right.
fuck, man?
You're right.
Where the hell's Susie? You know, hi.
And look at, I mean, you're right. That's an interesting concept of AI being.
I mean, that's just my guess, though. I don't know if it's the real thing. Although he talks a little bit about it.
Really?
In the movie, yeah, because there's a part where, how do I say this without, yeah, it doesn't give anything away. There's a part where he's asking him, like, you know, just general questions, like, is there a reason you gave, you know, its sexuality?
Huh.
And he goes, well, he kind of said a bunch of shit, but he was saying, like, you can't relate to a box, you know?
That's weird because I remember seeing the previews and it's a female figure, big breasts, tall, slender.
Very attractive.
There you
Yeah,
go. It's
very
and
attractive.
the face is she's a pretty actress.
It's slender and sleek and feminine and sweet.
Relate to a box.
Yeah,
Damn.
like you could, you know, you see these robots that are like moving around now.
Yeah.
And most of them are just kind of, you don't, you know, because that's the step of AI, right? That's
you're fucking.
That's what leans us into what scares me and has. I don't want to say has always scared me because I think the thing is we use AI today.
Yeah.
We just we have such a grasp over it, and that's the point. Like when they look like us, and they feel like us, and they talk like us, and they're smarter than us.
Yes, they are. We accept them. You know what?
Yeah,
this is exactly what
crazy.
you talked about with talking about like our aliens, and we always humanize these things. We always want to have its eyes, its limbs. Same with these robots. Remember, this is what we're talking about in the last podcast, and the unfortunate time of from Fame to Manchester, the Dubai police robot that's been launched. Do you remember it?
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
picture, it has a hat and a fucking vest like a police officer, so we can relate to this rolling robot. Like it's a cop, but it's a robot, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
We have to accept it, but they try to dress it up. That's so weird.
Well, because that's the interesting part of AI, right? We're going to create these things for us. For us. That's what they're going to do.
That's what Jason Silva is obsessed with. It's that quote by, I think it's Marshall McLuhan. First we build the tools, and then they build us.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with that quote because that's technology. Jason Silva, hopefully all you know, he's a futurist. He's the Timothy Leary of the viral age, they call it, and he makes those amazing shots of awe videos on YouTube, and it's a mind bender. It's amazing. But technology is a trip because if you think about how our phones are literally a hard drive extension of our own brain with emotions, feelings, and now our artificial intelligence runs that section of your phone because it knows all about you. I just got the Samsung Galaxy 8. I don't own them. I don't have any connection to them. It was a good deal at the store I was at. But
Brought to you by Wallace.
Wallace approves. No, but they call theirs Bixby. And so you click this Bixby thing, and it's basically hasn't done its voice yet, but it wants to get to know you. It wants to listen to you. It wants to learn your habits.
Fuck you, Bixby.
That's what it is.
Fuck you,
I've turned
sir.
off every notification.
I don't have
permission.
Siri.
I turned off all the permissions.
Mainly because I'll try to hit something and she'll be like, I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. And I'm like, no, bitch, I'm just trying to get to the, Google.
Isn't that weird, though? Because remember I told you off podcast, I used to have the Google phone, the OnePlus 2.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. It's a weird name. It's a OnePlus number 2. And I was speaking French to just outside because I was practicing something I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And I went to type on my phone and it started typing French. It was 100% listening to my fucking vocabulary. Not even near me. Like, I didn't say, okay, Google, okay, whatever. It was in my pocket, and I pulled it out.
See, that scares me. Just everyone kind of goes to, with artificial intelligence is like, oh, they're going to be smarter than us, and then they're going to kill us, and you find us to be weak.
Terminator.
Yes, that scares me too. What scares me, actually, though, is how good artificial intelligence is and then the dependency that we as humans use it for.
Yeah.
What the humans that make those things have control over. One of the reasons I got off of Facebook, and I don't want to sound like a guy that wears tinfoil on his hat.
I'm not on it.
But it's very invasive.
You know why we're not on it? Listeners, please, our fellow climbers, they wanted me to scan my ID and send it to them to prove that I was who I was.
Well, see, you almost got two.
No thanks.
You got two aspects here that are scary to me, right? You got the aspect of they're going to turn into Terminators and kill us, right? We create them, then they create us.
They don't design us.
Yeah,
they fuck us.
They fuck us. They kill us. They destroy us. The scarier part for me, because I think it's more immediate in our future, is the data.
Oof.
Is the data collection. And because it seems like everyone grazes over that. Like everyone just talks about these future aliens. See, future like artificial intelligence, it's just going to destroy us.
Yeah.
But dude, what about like blackmail or...
You know what that's called?
I mean, it's just, that shit blows my mind.
This is why you have to, as much as people don't think he's a patriot and all that shit, but Edward Snowden did something pretty cool. Because try to get a new cell phone now that doesn't, when you download an application, it asks you for permission. Can we go into your contacts? Can we access your microphone? Can we make calls? Thank you, Edward Snowden and NSA. Because before it was open game, it was 100% okay to do this shit. Yeah. And unfortunately, he did commit treason, but at the same time, he opened people's minds to, holy shit, everybody's watching and listening if they can.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a weird one.
That's scary for me, right? Because, I think that's going to affect a lot of things, because we're talking about artificial intelligence in the aspect, too, of one of the shocking stats I saw. There's a great show. I want to say it's on National Geographic. Mm-hmm. It's called Year 1 Million. And that's not figuratively the 1 million the year. Year 1 million is a time where the world as we are today, as we know it today, Walls and Dozer, it's nothing like this. Like cars are a dream. Like, whoa, dude, really? Almost like the 1700s today. Like that's kind of what they're saying, year 1 million, at least from my understanding. And they talk about, I forgot the stat, but it was a significant portion of our jobs are going to be taken away.
Wasn't it like 10 years or some shit? 50% jobs?
Something. It was staggering. I remember I was watching it with my wife and I thought, wait a minute, did they just say that number? It was like 40%, 48 or something like that.
Isn't that a staggering when you hear like the fish aren't going to be edible in the ocean after 30 years? There's going to be no more fish that you can go fresh catch. Everything's farmed now.
Yeah, staggering,
ruining it.
I get people are stupid. Like that's why. Because because some people have regulations, and you cross this imaginary line over here, and they have no regulations, and you can't tell them what to do because they have no regulations, and they don't give a fuck.
And you can gamble in those sections.
Those are great places to gamble. Fucking win some you fucking win some money, man.
I've gambled in Singapore, and it's fucking nuts,
dude.
If I have any idea of what Macau is, I saw that in Singapore, and it's 100% addiction and corruption. It's terrible.
They know how to gamble. They know how to party. They smoke. They drink.
I'll be in Macau
gamble.
one day. I want to see Macau one day.
So, I forgot where I was going there.
Just the artificial intelligence integrated. Is it scary? Is it not scary? That's kind of this huge thing that people... We hate new technologies, right? They always talk about Socrates and Aristotle having... People really hated writing at the time. They didn't want people to write down information. You know why? Because it took away from their lectures in person. Now, their lectures were on paper. People could go home and never have to fucking talk to those people ever again because you were reading what they were going to say. Loss of money, loss of kind of touch, human touch.
Well, yeah, and
fast forward to now.
And it's interesting because I don't think it's all bad. I mean, if I thought it was all bad, I would not have a cell phone. Wouldn't have a computer, I mean, like, you can't pick and choose. Well, you should be able to, but that's what's also scary, though, is that you're not going to be able to actually pick and choose one day. For me, the way I see it is you're physically just going to either, some people are like, I meet some people in what I do for a living, and they go, you got an email? And they go, no. And I go like, like
it's on every form.
I can't text either. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Smoke signal.
Well, yeah. Beep, 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 beep. But, I kind of, partially, I'm a little envious of them on some level because I'm like, man, dude, nothing, right? Nothing. Like, I just want to sit and talk to that person for 20 minutes.
We went camping a couple weeks ago for everybody, and we talked about so much awesome shit off cast, and our phones were off, and it was a really, really good detox. If anybody, I don't know if I ever talked about this, but I watched this small segment on Ed Sheeran, and he took an entire year off after getting so big from all the songs 2 years ago, and he got rid of his cell phone for a year.
Yeah.
And he wrote, and he went home, and he talked to family and friends. That's hard to do.
Well, we talked about this, the psychological impacts. I don't even think we know. But that's what's scary, right? Like, you don't have to have a cell phone.
You don't have to.
You could have a cell phone. You don't have to have a smartphone. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, it's probably hard to live in this world today with no cell phone because there's no pay phones anymore,
it's practical.
really.
It is a tool.
So having a cell phone, but you don't have to have a smartphone where you can fucking email, where people can your boss can contact you 24 hours of the day. You could look up anything you want. You can look at porn. You could fucking gamble, take pictures, fucking do fantasy football, fantasy sports. Chat to people, do little fucking goofy faces on on some sort of app. See what some guy across the world's doing. Actually, you can watch him.
This is in one day. Not even a couple hours.
You don't need that. And you really don't need an email. I mean, depending on what your job is, you probably don't need an email. Mm-hmm. But what scares me about future artificial intelligence is it's going to engulf a large portion of our life. And yes, throughout the time, we're going to go, wow, that's really cool. Like, a cell phone is a great thing, right? I mean, it's a great thing that you can order food somewhere on your phone and they deliver it to you.
Look at it. Look at the mind-blowing thing that when people drove over a bridge with the little beep technology thing, that it's prepaid now. Mm-hmm. You don't have to wait in line for some person that doesn't want to talk to you.
25 cents.
Yeah, and you throw it in.
25 cents.
Now you it's weird because...
But that is
normal acceleration.
That's also economical. It makes sense. It's reasonable.
But then we just took the job of 1, 2, 3, 4 humans times however many on the payroll plus however many hours of the day.
Of course,
no more jobs.
And now jobs are going to get taken though, because the reality of it is, I mean, truthfully, like, let's go through that real quick. What are some jobs? And I'm not shitting on these people, but
bankers.
Yeah, tellers, bank tellers. Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Fast food.
Absolutely.
There's restaurants now that robots
please be
are
fast
serving.
food. Please be fast food. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't eat fast food a lot anymore, but dude, I mean, some of those people, they want $12 an hour. Like, come on.
No, it's
I had
15.
three
15.
I had 3 things in my order, dude. The waiter down the way that's getting $3 an hour. That dude struggled with like fucking 10 plates just for one person.
Order.
That's me.
And it's written down. It's not memorized. Like, you get the ticket.
It's literally boop, boop. Your total's $5, sir.
If you go to China, you Google like China restaurant robot. There's robots now that have a track and they serve people food. So not only are you gone, when I was in Japan, I went into a place and there was 2 cooks and no one else. Servers gone, other people gone. I went into a machine, I clicked a big old monkey button that had sushi, and I clicked it, and then all of a sudden it gave me a ticket, and then like 10 minutes later, the ticket number came up, and I went and got my food, and I sat down. Game over.
And so fast food, banker tellers.
Look at like travel agents are gone. Everything you can look up online now.
And that is artificial intelligence, but I'm actually talking about, let's kind of go into robotic artificial intelligence, or more advanced than what we have today.
Military. Drones.
You know what, though? How fucking stupid would it be if we fight with... I mean, listen, I was in the military, but how dumb is it to fight against, like, robots? Like, one of the things of war is our people conquered your people. And, yes, a lot of it has to do with technology as well, but losing a life is a huge deal to a country. I mean, to most countries. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it seems dumb to fight wars
if you look
with
at,
robots.
I don't want to give a spoiler, but anybody seen Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a cool scene where there's drone pilots, and they're all in one section, and they're flying these just fucking drone pilots. Like, think about when you don't have to die for your country, or think about, like, robbing banks used to be shootouts with the police. Bang, 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 bang. Guess what? Now I just took your money online in my pajamas, and I don't have to bang, bang, bang with the police anymore. Like, this is kind of where we're going. It's weird.
Let's stop at police.
Yeah.
Because an interesting,
artificial intelligence.
but an interesting thing about police is ethical. And I know some people are going to say cops suck anyway.
So,
but
who's
imagine
teaching the AI ethics.
Well, I also don't think you can teach them ethics. They know laws.
Yeah.
Like, and this is an Ex Machina.
Yeah.
And let's not forget this police thing.
Yeah.
But in Ex Machina, the guy's he's telling a story about a artificial intelligence course he took in college. And I thought it was really good. So I'm just going to paraphrase it. He says, the way we kind of learned artificial intelligence is imagine you are in a box and you know all of the colors, every single color there ever is in the world. You know them, right? But you can never physically see them, feel them, understand how they are, and live them. You don't know what colors are. You don't know it's beauty. You don't know if that's a color people like. Yeah. That's a color people don't like. You just know every color. And then imagine walking out that door and seeing every color, everything. Like that's when you're in the box, you're an artificial intelligence. When you're out of the door or out of that box, you're consciousness. Oof. And that was like, and again, I probably fucked a little of it up, but that was the basis of the story.
Yeah.
And that's something that does scare me about robots or about
police
robots, even military, man. I mean, they don't. And now again, though, you could also say, do humans make really great ethical decisions? So let's dumb it down. Let's get war out of there because I think that's a shitty topic that we're not really well versed to understand that.
Yeah.
But police, people shit on police, but imagine you're going.
It's their job every day.
Everyone goes, what's the buffer? Right? If speed limit's 65, what do you do?
72.
Yeah, 70, 72. You might push it at 72. Yeah, that's right.
You shouldn't go over 72.
You go 66, that fucking robot is going to pull your ass over and you're going to get a ticket.
Yeah. Well, they have
no. That's a dumbed down thing.
Photos.
Oh, photos. That's an infringement.
That's a robot, bro.
That's an infringement.
They have those in France.
They fought that though.
Yeah, I think they took them out of certain parts of Colorado, but in France on their main highways, because everybody takes trains. Let's get real, but sometimes it's nice to do that autoroute in French. But they have cameras in certain parts of the highway if you're going over a ticket.
That's dog shit. I think that's real dog shit because
socialist.
Well, part of the fucking to me of a cop or enforcement is to, judge behavior.
It is you're right. It is like a
cop. I've been speeding by a cop.
Yeah.
But I wasn't being erratic. And there's or dangerous.
Yeah.
And you might say, well, how the hell were you speeding? And because I was just passing.
Yeah.
And then I saw, shit, a cop. He didn't pull me over. Maybe he didn't see me. There's maybe 1,000 times in that equation. But, dude, they don't pull everyone over that speeds. They pull a lot of people over that are doing erratic things, crazy lane changes, and yeah.
So that is a great point and a scary point. You're right. Now I see your point of view. The almost their observation between a robot by the books could be a scary
Have you ever
thing.
met that guy somewhere?
Who?
Just I'm going to describe this person to you.
Yeah.
That's like, no, you can't do that. That's wrong.
It's a by the book Betty.
And you're like, dude, come on. And he's like, no, it's wrong. And it's not, it's really like a gray area. And you're like, come on, man. Like, we can have 2 beers tonight.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He's like, no, it's against the rules. There's a lot of dudes like that in the military. It's like, absolutely not. That's not what it's like, dude.
They're by the book.
Come on. That a robot is times 1,000 of that prick.
So where is that going to be? I love that idea in the movie where the box and the colors, you can't touch them, and then you go out and there's the consciousness. That's scary because
but you don't, basically.
That's what scares me is, here's another thing that scares me. And you had this great, epiphany watching Ex Machina. You know what my epiphany was? I saw some article. There was 15 technology things in the kitchen that'll change your life. Guess which one of them was that blew my mind? It was a fork that has technology on it. And if you're eating too fast, it'll vibrate and tell you that. If you're eating too many portions.
If this was the Shark Tank, I'm out. I'm out of this. That's a terrible idea.
No, because it's
horrendous.
It is horrendous. You know why?
What is that thing? Only for $99 you can tell your fucking portions? Yeah. How about you just focus on your portions,
the scary thing is, it's approved. It's in magazines. It's coming out. Imagine, this is where this scares me. Isn't that scares me? It's right. There. It's not like some dude on the internet. No,
people looked at that and said,
dude!
Yes! I can finally control my portions.
Imagine even the speed. It can, if you were eating too fast, it vibrates. It tells you do not do it. That scares me because humans are getting so dumbed down. Like, I'm one of the biggest victims where I need to have a map on my phone now to look, and I have no sense of direction. I don't always need the GPS, but I have to have like this visualization versus I have a good friend, you know him, DD, who is unbelievable in nature that doesn't need a map and has a sense of direction. And do you think it was the phone dumbing me down just like calculators do it? Like,
no, I think some people have good sense of direction, some people don't. I mean,
I feel like I used to.
Yeah,
now
but
I'm relying on something.
I mean, a phone is convenient. A phone is convenient, though, right? Like,
it's very convenient.
See, that's going back to like, that's something that's really not. It's helping us in a way.
Yeah.
You get to things where it's like, and you might say, well, yeah, taking police out of the equation is helping us too, but there's no ethical decisions with, Google Maps unless it's like, keep going straight, motherfucker, and it's a fucking cliff. Which I don't think that's happened.
Look at self-driving cars, man, that are running red lights. Have you seen videos of that?
Yeah. I've
they don't know how to stop in certain situations and accident, man.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing, too, there is, I get the counterpoint, is people don't make very good decisions either.
No, sober people are terrible
But
drivers.
the point is, there's a few points here. I think a robot would be a better driver than us. I don't think robot drivers are actually. I think that is going to be something.
By the book is good.
I think because you're right. By the book driving is actually good.
Yeah.
But in reality, when you're driving on a road where there's a lot of people, everyone speeds. I mean, go to California. You're 15, 20 over the damn speed limit.
Because if you're not, you're in
danger of yourself.
Flow of traffic.
Yeah.
It's in the rules. It's in the DMV book.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's California right there. When I lived there, it's like, vroom, fucking.
Hey,
wait a minute,
fast-paced,
isn't the
progressive
speed
fucks.
limit 65? Yeah, we're going 80.
75.
We're going 85.
80.
It's like,
Minimum.
what the shit? But so, I'm talking about ethical decisions with a robot and a human being.
Yeah.
Because I do think, driving. If they 60, you can get anywhere 65. Why not? Because why do people generally speed? They're in a rush
late.
to go do something they're late or
Human error.
But
Damn,
at
that's
least
weird.
now if a robot's driving you, it opens a whole plethora of things that you can do in a car
You
now.
could study on your way to
You could
work,
study,
school.
I mean, you
have
could
fun with
prepare
your
for work.
kids.
You could get ready.
Talk with your kids about life when you're dropping them off at school or whatever the fuck.
I mean, hey, I'll go with you.
Have a drink.
Well, you could do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is when there's ethical decisions involved there. And that's what scares me about cops.
So, and that's what's scary about artificial intelligence. So, like, what's going to happen to security, whether it's bankers? So, say you, instead of going in and talking to a financial advisor, now you're going in and talking to an artificial intelligence like those Watsons or whatever you see on the television.
Hello, I am
Hey, Watson, I just found out you're a broke piece of shit.
I won Jeopardy.
That's what's scary.
Good accomplishment, dumb robot.
But what if they study the market 100 million times faster than we do and make the best possible decision? What's going to happen to stocks? What's going to happen to the business world and negotiations?
That's interesting, right? Let's continue. Let's go down the jobs. We talked about cops.
Okay.
There's a problem there, right? Financial. They will take over financial.
They already
stock
are,
trading.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the
study
things that's I heard about now is, I mean, even computers being nanoseconds faster on a trade are making like tons of money more. So that's artificial intelligence. That's an industry that will be. Most likely construction would be artificial intelligence, which I have no problem with that.
3D printing. Have you seen a video online? If anybody haven't seen it, YouTube, 3D printing house builder. And all it was it took like a day to build this fucking house with this 3D printing machine.
Yeah, so I think
that's already there.
Yeah, construction. But I mean even like a construction worker.
Farming is getting that way. So farmers used to have to use their eye to judge, and now they have laser pinpointed things that have 100% crop versus like 87%.
Which is probably
a good thing.
It's sad on some level because
you're not wasting food.
But yeah, it's sad, but it's also better.
Get out of here, Farmer Joe.
Yeah,
go drink and go.
Well, I mean that sucks because farming is a very human thing.
Why is it human? Go into that. That's good. Why is that human?
Jeez.
Yeah, right.
It's the way we basically moved on in life.
Conditioned.
I mean, we understood how to. Well, we also it's the pinnacle of what we've done that has made us grow.
Yeah, it's good.
Farming.
It's very good.
And then the next step would be basically like, I mean, geez, I'm skipping over history will kill me, but like trading that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Trading posts and
I mean, making trades, and then
goods
now that's how you get this world economy, somewhat of what we have today.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
farmers, good but bad.
Man,
Bad
it's
because,
weird.
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of farmers. I mean, there's a lot of people that do small farming and shit like that.
Yeah.
So farming will become like almost a hobby on some level. What else?
Ooh, you're just gonna have to watch over, make sure things don't go bad. But like, at least you're not doing manual labor. Think about manual labor jobs.
Mhm.
What's gonna happen to like, fuck, man. Think about like lawnmowers and stuff like that. We're already sitting on our ass and mowing lawns. Like, pretty soon we're gonna have like a robot that cleans it. You know, we have vacuum cleaner robots.
Yeah.
Now it's mowing your lawn robot. You don't do shit.
Yeah, I mean, garbage men, fucking.
Man. Yeah, they already do that. It used to be two dudes in the back hanging on.
And now that
talking
thing
about
comes out and
last
goes.
night. Now it's a fork and somebody has to drive it. Guess who doesn't need to drive it anymore? Because we're gonna have driving cars. Goodbye, garbage man.
Yeah, so garbage men's gonna go.
What about delivery mail? You know, like day-to-day mail can now probably have a robot come out of the car, drop it off, and go
100%. Yeah,
gone 5 years,
100%.
4 years. Yeah,
I mean, 100%.
there's no job we couldn't get into. Teaching is the same way because now instead of being in a physical classroom, what is the number one thing people do now? Online learning.
Oh yeah.
It's all online.
Well, online is going to be the future of colleges. I mean,
100%
especially
already
because
is.
money.
Well, because we don't have time anymore. Going back to how accelerated our lives are.
When
Who
it's
has
money,
time to
man.
sit in a brick and
I mean,
mortar?
it's money. A lot of people that don't get a loan, that get a loan for college, they're
Yeah.
never going to pay that shit off.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot, not everyone.
Yeah.
A lot of people do,
exactly.
but a lot aren't. You know, and I mean,
Yeah.
getting a degree from some university is really. I mean, people say all the time, it doesn't matter where you get your degree unless you go to a huge prestigious school. It
But you
matters
already
that
have
you
connections
it
in
matters
that.
that you have a degree.
Yep.
And that's bigger. What you just said is the bigger part of colleges. Do you have connections from that college, or do you have that prestige? Well, you know, going to like a different college or even a big, nice state college,
Yeah.
doesn't really give you that. It's not prestigious a lot, unless the guy that was hiring you is like, dude, I went there too, man.
Well, there's the human connection thing again.
Exactly.
So are we just going to be? So say we take over the 50% of the jobs that's projected by what 2021 or 2022,
Something along
whatever that is. So we're thinking 5 years. Humans are going to have more time to do what? Be still destructive, have bad ethics still, more time to scheme. Like, what is this going to do to us? You know what I mean? Is that going to bring in the whole theory that Rogan is obsessed with, and they've done studies on how they give universal income. Here's your 40 grand for the year. Food, whatever it is.
Yeah, but dude,
what are we gonna?
that
do
ain't
with
gonna
all this
work
time?
because we're gonna have. If that happens, we're gonna have a significant population problem.
Ooh, we're gonna have more time to bang, right? And have babies and issues, and
And also, if that happens, you are gonna have a very large disparity of wealth.
yes,
Because guess what? Someone is going to own the robots that collect your
or they're
garbage.
gonna manipulate the system where this money is now filtered into here, and like VR itself is a trip. Have you tried one of those?
No, I
Didn't I
almost
tell you I did?
yeah, I almost refuse to on some level.
It's pretty badass.
I know, man, and
This phone is built to do it.
I'm afraid that it's a little too badass.
You can now watch. So the big, I think I talked about this last time, but the big final soccer match in Europe is called the Champions League final, if anybody knows. And you can now, it was the first thing you could see in VR. They had a 50-yard line, center field, 360 camera.
That shit doesn't see though. That's the interesting.
That's nuts.
I don't do that. Not really. I'm not even gonna say personal reasons. It ain't my lifestyle. Maybe it will be.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure one day TV's all gonna be that. Just like flat screens became the thing, and now it's like
they have 3D
now it's
television.
like 3D television.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean even better 3D
Yeah,
television.
100%.
I'm talking about like you don't even have a TV anymore. It's like put the goggles on. We're watching fucking Jeopardy. Like that type of thing.
Yeah.
We're actually no, not put the goggles on. We're watching Jeopardy. Put the goggles on. We're going to Jeopardy. Like we're there.
We're in a suit. You
Fucking
feel
Pat
it, you smell
Sajak is
it.
over there. Is that Pat Sajak?
Alan Trebek.
Oh, Pat Sajak's fucking Wheel of Fortune, baby.
Well, no, Alex Trebek is Wheel of Fortune. Or is
No,
it
Alex
Jeopardy?
Trebek. Yeah, suck it, Trebek.
Yeah, suck it, Trebek.
Yeah, it's Jeopardy. So that shit doesn't scare me. That shit doesn't even bother me. I mean, that's cool. Like that's
It's just advancements in the
it's making
entertainment. There
things
you go.
better. I mean, it's
agree.
just like
I
when you
agree.
look at shit and you go, driving. It is kind of a waste of fucking time.
You're right.
I mean,
And
in
we're
a big city.
distracted. We're reading emails, texts. I've seen people shaving.
And you have
in
road
California.
rage, and you have fucking people that
So
do dumb
what's
shit.
going to happen to us? I mean, is it essentially not going to be as scary as we think, and then we're going to go, you know what? This is a good idea. It's safer.
Again,
no teen deaths.
there's two problems, and I'm sure there's a few others. It's who's controlling that stuff and the data that they get from them controlling that stuff.
Jimmy Buffett.
And then, you mean Warren Buffett? Jimmy.
I get.
Jimmy.
I don't know the difference.
I'm like, Margaritaville?
Margaritaville, is it?
Oh no, I mean, who's controlling that and the data they're getting, and and then how advanced? Like, where do we have an ethical line? Yeah. Can you beat up a robot? Can you kill a robot? Can you fucking, like, what is there?
Then throw into the random people that sexuality, they get attached to this artificial intelligence. They're lonely people.
That's going to be a problem.
That is probably.
You better believe that's going to be a problem.
And you know what's scary is going into a data collection. The main word for it is actually called data mining.
Oh yeah.
Think about the concept of a mining. That's scary. You're getting the deepest shit possible that is the most valuable things, and now some artificial intelligence uses that mined information for or against you, depending on who's controlling what.
Wow, and that's what's scary. That's what's scary, man.
It's very scary.
That whole thing is it's petrifying, because again, I'm fine for VR. Like, personally, I might not use it, but I think it's cool. I'm all for advances, but the question is we're humans and we never stop. Like that's the real like where will we stop with this?
When will we combine?
Because I think taking a lot of our jobs is a real problem. Taking a lot of our jobs is a huge problem.
Everybody hated this movie. I actually really liked it, and it was Surrogate with Bruce Willis. And everybody can make the jokes. Oh, is this a Die Hard 17? But think about the idea.
Die Hard 17.
It is a pod at home. You get in it, and then you now are officially in a surrogate. You're in another body that's younger. You don't get injured. He's a cop in this. So if he gets shot, he wakes up in the pod now. So the idea is, you're not facing the harshnesses of reality in the world and nature and whatever it may be.
You could you could have a real ethical thing there. Not ethical.
Hugely ethical.
But not even ethical. You can have a real problem with that, because one thing is human experience.
Well, that's what the movie's about.
And there's something really different between, because like people say playing a video game. Well, that's an experience. I agree. I like video games to a point. But, video games, you don't experience love. And even if it feels so real in that thing, it's not like, it isn't real. Like,
have you seen
people say that about it.
Games, though? The females are always busty and great looking.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the nerdy kids that can't get the real human experience will get it through those video games.
Well, notice something, too. You're the hero. I mean,
you're right.
It's a story. You're the hero. You're solving things. You're progressively getting better. You're accomplishing little goals and missions, or getting coins, or whatever it is, which is all fine and dandy. It's just like, well, when it gets into that thing of that is your life. Yeah. That I don't know if that's fulfilling. Like I don't know. That's a question. Like, we're gonna have to answer.
Scary?
Is that's a real question.
This idea just came back to me because you were going into it with the data mining before, and I totally forgot my idea. But I thank goodness that South Park reminded me of this. Anybody that's seen the last episode of South Park, it was all about trolls. In a place in Denmark, since a troll caused this lady to commit suicide, a place in Denmark vowed to find all the trolls and release all the information of everybody in history online. So you could have a database where you could look up, like, what did Dozer do last year online this way? And you could find their information of what they were doing and searching for. That was funny to me, but in reality, it just popped into my mind about data
real
mining.
Shit.
And you just said it, real shit, blackmailing, issues. Like, the most common joke now you see on any comedy movie is some nerdy person or whatever character says, hey, if I don't come back, remember to delete my browser history. Like, it's kind of a joke, and I've seen it in shows and movies, but that's a real thing now. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's all, the question is, too, is it going to move us into full transparency? Oof. Which could be a good thing, depending on who controls that data. Yeah. But is it going to move us into a full transparency thing? Because that's also something about in Ex Machina.
What was that?
The robot can tell if you're lying.
Wow. Beat, heart sensor,
understands
tones.
You know, like how you ever heard an FBI profiler? Like you move your eyes to the left, you're lying, or
looking left and down.
The machine understands every human maneuver mechanism, the way they move, the way they think. I mean, like they understand you.
What if it meets a really good actor, though? You know what I mean? We've always talked about actors being bullshit because they're just liars, professional liars. That's what's trippy to me is when the artificial
But they're doing it
intelligence-
for a very short period of time. I mean,
there's con artists everywhere, right?
Oh, there absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of but that's not the majority.
True.
Right? You know, I mean, but so that's the interesting question.
Man.
Is it going to go to full transparency? I mean, are you going to have to be...
Don't we do lie detector tests with machines already? Anyway, what happens when, like, is Tom
Cruise's
movie going to
really
become real?
I mean,
Minority Report?
That's not really artificial intelligence, is it?
It's a tool, you're right.
Yeah, because it's more of like just testing your blood pressure or something like that, your reaction to the questions you're asking.
Heartbeat, right?
Heartbeat, yeah.
But... Fuck, the AI is just a trip.
Think about that, though. You're right. I mean, like Minority Report, I don't know if you can predict if someone's going to do something, but...
Get arrested for the dream you have.
You know what they can do now, which isn't even artificial intelligence, it's just human science? They can determine whether certain people are more likely to be violent. And that sounds very nothing. But it's pretty interesting. The tests are with children. And there's this big test where basically the mom leaves the room. I can't think of what it's called. But the mom leaves the room, and a stranger comes back in and observes the baby. It's a famous test. But that test shows whether basically that kid is... it's like attachment thing. Mm-hmm. But it shows whether that kid is more prone to be violent. And it's all about his reaction to certain things.
Yeah.
But that's... You know, we can do that today on a small level. But they said you cannot predict... Just because you're more prone to being violent doesn't mean you are going to be violent. So you could say, like, you know, Aurora theater shootings or all these terrorists or whatever it is. You can't sit there and say, oh, well, they were going to do it.
Yeah.
Because those are experiences. Those are actions.
So what happens with when the NSA, you know, officially gets into, like, artificial intelligence and it connects with the artificial intelligence that's learning a lot about us? So then you have like web searches like how to make a bomb, areas, routes of certain cities or whatever.
Well, they probably already have that,
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so, fuck. Like,
but just because you're looking up how to make a bomb doesn't mean you're going to do it.
That's very
true. Just because you're thinking about, you know, like you could type in how to hide a dead body. You can ask Siri that.
You see it in the films, man.
You know, you could even text someone like, man, I want to kill her. You know, or want to kill him.
So how does artificial intelligence going to know sarcasm? That was the big point of like Will Smith's I Am Robot or iRobot or whatever it was, where he didn't understand winks. The robot couldn't get the wink aspect. And he goes, oh, you don't know what that is?
Well, from the way this thing in Ex Machina did it is it would know sarcasm as sarcasm.
Wow.
Yes, that's sarcasm.
So it detected it.
Yeah,
just like lying.
Forgot or like simple phrases. There was a phrase he said, and he asked asked the robot like, "What? Do you know what that means?" or something like that. And she said, "Yes, I know what that means." But you know, there's no emotional reaction. Like I can't think of something that you would say off the top of my head, but like something that might be funny or like just human language things that are funny. It seemed like they would identify them. Oh, that's a human language trait that is supposed to be funny.
They do that,
but that's all they knew.
Yeah,
like that's a human language trait that's supposed to be funny.
Identify it, right? Like they do that in like Star Wars. The new Star Wars when they came out, the robots are very intelligent and very on point with the jokes.
C-3PO is kind of always like that too.
It's on point with the jokes, and then has thrown it back to them, like
so the interesting thing, is like,
damn.
Talk about this word. First time we threw it out, singularity.
So what's that?
Singularity is when artificial intelligence is so much like us. Basically, you cannot tell the difference. So
it's on
for example,
plane?
I could be talking to you, you could be a robot, and I'd have no clue. That's ultimate singularity.
But what? So we're basically aligned. We're in one path.
But I have no clue. You know, people think like, oh, there's robots today.
Yeah.
You know, like basically that's singularity. Like you would not know. You could meet a girl at a bar. You know, you can meet your future husband, and you would not know if they're a robot.
I've heard of
because
singularity.
They understand every single thing. There is basically no difference between them besides the difference that you have blood, and they don't.
Fleshy blood.
Yeah, I mean, and it's I don't know. The singularity kind of, again, that didn't freak me out. What freaks me out more is data collection and then how they're going to use robots and then who's going to control the robots. All that stuff kind of bothers me.
So do you think that, so where I've heard of Singularity is Duncan Trussell's podcast where he was he interviewed, I forget who it was, at Singularity University in San Francisco. But if you look at their kind of mission statement, it's, our mission is to educate, inspire, and empower leaders to apply exponential technologies to address humanity's grand challenges. So they're trying to rope it together and not only be one, but be one to solve humankind issues. So that's trippy because you are right when you talk about how flawed we are, the ethics line where it's drawn, but sometimes there are good gray areas. You know what I mean?
Well, for example, I mean, one thing is creativity.
Yes.
Can a robot be original?
They can paint, I'm assuming, right?
They can paint today, but I don't think they paint. I think they paint.
They copy, don't they?
Yes,
copy?
Basically, which is, if you actually
can do that.
Well, if you actually think about that, that's not that crazy. I mean, your printer
copies.
paints.
3D printing.
Yeah, I mean, your printer
you're
paints,
right,
for
right.
God's sakes. You know,
Yeah,
it's what it's doing. It's taking that picture and doing it. Now, this thing does it with a brush.
Code it, right?
Well, someone has to come up with the idea.
Fuck, yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's the interesting thing. Like, they talk about that actually. They're looking at a painting and Ex Machina. But I've seen this before in Year 1 Million, that robots can paint, and that's the next step. Is, well, can they paint something that is original to them? Can they come up with an idea?
So there's the artificial intelligence.
But you look at the things that are beautiful in life, and most of it is not created with a computer.
No.
I mean, can a robot play a guitar? Like fucking Jimi Hendrix?
It'll learn it, right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean,
it can learn it, but anyone can learn the
anything.
guitar.
Yeah.
Can it sing without copying a voice?
Does it have that there's
Yeah,
something there.
I can physically learn the guitar.
Is it the human touch?
You could study every day and learn the guitar,
100%.
and you will not be.
Jimi
Maybe
Hendrix.
you will not. Maybe
No.
most likely.
Has
not.
there been one since? No.
You will not be Jimi Hendrix.
You're right.
So like, that's the interesting thing. Like,
There is going to be,
coming up with a movie, coming up with a book. I mean, you ever read a book and you're just like, man, that guy, that girl that is writing that book, they get it. Like, they get whatever they're talking.
There's something unique about it. There's some human element.
And again, everyone can write.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone, but most people can write.
Yeah, you're right.
I could write down words and you'd be like, what the fuck is this guy saying?
But maybe there's no depth. There's no interesting.
But where does depth come from?
Human imagination.
It's not like, the best books aren't just the people that like research the most information. Sometimes it's like people just explaining their thoughts.
Look at fucking Harry Potter. Look at 7 series of human imagination.
That's incredible imagination.
It is incredible.
You know what I mean? And it's like
worlds and games and
businesses. I mean,
business.
you even think about businesses.
Yeah.
Is a robots can solve problems, but lots of people can solve problems. Execution is what makes the problem really become solvable, right? Like, I'm sure there was other people that came up with the idea of Uber. Like, why don't we make a service that is online that fucking
uses our technology,
and you hire these people out? I'm sure someone else came up with it. Same thing with Amazon. Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, there is. Other people sell shit like Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? Amazon.
eBay was
found its way.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like execution's a huge part of it. They could probably come up with an idea to solve a problem. You know what's scary,
man, is look at when you talk about the human element and the love and stuff like that. Look at the algorithms that match people on say Match.com, Chemistry.com, all those fucking dating websites. Look what happens.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
AI comes into there.
Are you like your fiance?
Yes.
A lot?
Yes.
Really? I think that's kind of unusual.
Oh, I think like.
Oh God, I would never put you in that situation. No, but of course you do. I mean, she's your fucking fiance.
You're right.
I love my wife too, but the question is, are you alike? Are you?
So where does
everything she likes?
Yeah.
You like?
No.
Exactly.
Opposites attract, they say, right?
Of course. Like, that's real.
Yeah.
What
happens when the algorithm takes the two opposite people and attracts it? It's like,
I don't think you have an algorithm for love, man.
Have you?
I don't know.
Let one tech nerd do it, man.
Have you ever loved someone you thought, what the fuck did I love that person for? What was that algorithm?
I do that with my sports teams all the time.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, or a
What am I
girlfriend,
doing?
previous girlfriend, you go, what? And then, like, 5 years, 10 years later, you go, what the fuck was I thinking?
You could do that with clothing. You do that with fucking
love is a very.
cars.
I don't know if there's an algorithm for love, man.
That's the weirdest part, and that's why every movie you see, it's always like love is this kind of it's the human thing. It's still that human thing that we have. We can love a dog. A dog can love us back. There's the oxytocin in both of our brains as mammals, but like love is the thing that just like theories or religion or anything or a god, we can't prove it. We can't touch it. It's not tangible, right?
You also
But
can't.
it
You
still
you
can
really
change your
can't
life.
explain love either.
You're right, but it can still have profound effects.
We
on
can
people
tell
and-
stories about what love feels like
Yeah,
on some
exactly.
level, and they all seem the same with different twists and plot twists.
Some
Because we're
people's
really
love
good.
is crazy.
Well, we're really good at telling stories. But you're
You're right.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Some people's love is crazy.
But it does change them a certain way. It doesn't matter whether it was science that did it or
I mean,
love. It's
you
like
ever
this-
seen a skinny guy with a fat girl or a really hot girl with a fat guy that had nothing to do with money or anything?
Chubby Chasers?
Yeah, but it to them, it's love, or maybe it has nothing to do
Well,
with
they
the
say
body.
love
for
is
them.
blind, correct?
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
that's the interesting thing. I mean, that is there. I don't know if there's an algorithm there, and that
I agree.
that goes into like
100% agree.
VR. Like, imagine, dude, you know how many people watch porn and are going to be stuck on VR porn?
They had their
or
first.
robots.
They had
I
their
mean,
first case of VR assault.
We got to wrap this up, but I want to hear this real quick.
A girl was the first. She wrote an article, blog. She was in one of those stupid games that's on VR, like Second Life or whatever the hell it was on VR.
I've heard of Second Life.
And a guy came in and just started touching her private areas of her avatar, and she said she felt like she was this similar feeling of being assaulted, sexually assaulted. 100% a real article.
Goodness
Please Google it.
Gracious.
Please Google it. So then you're going to go into the issues of VR and how. I mean, I'm not in her brain.
Well, can you rape a robot? Can
I don't
you kill
know.
a robot?
Is it traumatic
these
in
are
the brain?
things.
She felt like it was traumatic. That's what she felt like, and it mimicked reality to her.
I think
That's
I think-
crazy.
I think both those individuals should get the
be-
fuck off of Second Life and checked out immediately.
They need to go to Mars with fucking SpaceX or something. They need to get out of
Elon
here.
Musk's too smart for those fucking people. Be like, wait a minute,
Is he
what
that smart,
happened?
though? He doesn't know what love is.
Well, yeah, no, he knows what love is.
4 times.
Yeah, 4 times. But when he,
I can't talk shit on a genius, but
Yeah.
man, he wasn't a pigeon
Well,
fucker. He was just
little insider there. But anyway, man, we might have to do
Tesla.
another number 2 on
I think
this
we should continue
because this shit is
good.
interesting and
So
there's
why
some
don't we
more
end-
things.
We should continue with the love element because love and artificial intelligence.
Ooh,
and
good
you
one.
Can, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, man. So this has been Between X and Z. I am Dozer.
This is Wallace.
Peace. See you guys.